when I started doing Rockers TV in 1980, Gregory just happened to land in New York. I just came up with this brilliant idea to start the first reggae video entertainment program. And my first guest was none other than my dear brethren, Mr. Gregory Isaacs. June, who has been behind Gregory, you know, they said every time you have a successful man, you have a strong woman behind him. I think June exhumed that to the maximum. And once again, June, I want to welcome you to Rockers TV. How are you doing, my sister? It's a pleasure to have you in my company. How are you?
Of course, Earl, and I'm glad to be here.
We have so many things to speak about, you know, and we're just going to start about where you originate from. What parish are you from? You look like a Portlander to me.
Of course, Earl, of course, without a doubt. From the cool parish of Portland, a little district. I was born in Bybrook.
Okay, Bybrook.
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
All right.
But I spent most of my childhood in Fruitful Vale.
In Fruitful Vale.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, I was born in Bybrook, Portland. But my mom migrated at an early age. So I was about 3 years old when my dad and I moved to Fruitful Vale. And that's where I spent most of my childhood days.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about your early childhood days in Fruitful Vale, the beautiful parish of Portland.
I had a very good childhood period. My dad was a storekeeper, like a big shop in a small village that sold everything from a pin to an anchor. And it was him and myself alone. So I am a daddy's girl.
You have sisters and brothers?
I have, my other sister was about a few months, same mother, but she was about a few months when my mother migrated. And so she was left with my mother's family and my dad took me.
Okay.
Raised in Fruitful Vale with my dad, I was in his arms most of the time. Very spoiled, very, very spoiled. If you ask anybody, Bible will tell you, Mr. Wyndham, no put her down. Anyway, my dad was Mr. Wyndham, as I just said, Duval Wyndham, the storekeeper. Attended Fruitful Vale all age. Didn't go to basic school, my dad taught me, because he was like that. And went to Fruitful Vale School, Adventist by faith. I was even, the Governor General was my Sabbath school teacher at one stage.
Really now?
Yes. So went to Fruitful Vale School, he taught there. And his wife taught there too. His wife actually ended up teaching my sister. Leaving Fruitful Vale, passed common entrance, scholarship at that time. And then I went to Titchfield High School. At Titchfield, I started out as a bright little girl, but in and around second or third form, I became, and at my PE teacher discovered me as a like a fast girl, and so I was drafted into athletics, drafted into netball, and became a very popular girl, running all over the place, winning my races, competing as far, my competition took me as far as Eastern Champs. But you know, the town girl, them fast a bit more time, so after that, I completed my 5 years at Titchfield, and then I did a year's youth service, national youth service. From there, I was accepted at the Shortwood Teachers College in Kingston. Good and bad news to my dad, because his little girl is going to leave him now. I mean, coming to Kingston, sending your daughter to Kingston still in the teens, you know.
Were you boarding with someone?
Yes, I had to. I had to live on campus. My father.
Oh, you had to live on campus.
No,
okay.
My dad was so strict. He wouldn't allow me to live with anyone, although I had families here, but I was living on campus.
They're looking at what age?
I'm looking at 19, heading to 20. Reached out to Teachers College. My major, my course actually that I started was, I don't think that's correct. I majored in physical education and human and social biology. Okay. Because of my athletic background and all of that, I was selected to do the physical education course at Shortwood.
How does it feel to be away from home for the very first time, unsupervised and more or less on your own?
It felt like freedom.
But then, you can break out now.
The warnings I got from my dad didn't stop here. Don't this, don't that, don't, you know? Heading to the city, you would get those warnings from your parents.
Good thing you didn't have cell phone those days.
We didn't.
Good thing.
The only way I could contact my dad was by writing letters. And so during my course there,
You start dating yet?
Yes, I had a boyfriend from Titchfield. My parents did not know about this, but I had an ongoing thing. And so when I started Shortwood, he used to come and visit me as well. At Shortwood, I met a girl from St. Thomas, Rose Graham. We majored in the same subjects, and so we became tight. Going to church was one of the things my father instilled in me wherever I was. So when I came to Shortwood, I started to go to church on a Sabbath. The nearby churches would send buses or whatever transport on campus for whatever faith you would go on that day. And so I started out good. After a while, company and friends, I started to delay going back to my services. I don't know if that's correct. I started to not go to church. And so I would accompany my friends anywhere they were going on a Saturday and look forward to going to a party on a Saturday night. Every day this man would come.
So when did you feel that you developed attraction to Gregory? Was it in the record store?
I did not have any attraction.
When he came on campus?
We never. I didn't. That was not in my head. No way, because I had my peeps from Portland who comes to visit me.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So you're committed, in other words.
I'm not interested in no man at town at all.
So do you recall the gentleman that you used to date at that age, or you don't want to mention his name?
I don't think I want to mention his name, really.
Okay.
But, you know, sometimes something work out some way that you have to say, God is real, you know? Anyway, I know for a fact he was a Rasta man, although him here talk so neatly. This man, the secret man, or this, what you call him now?
Mabana wide brim felt that.
Yes. When he noticed his hair was so tucked out that you wouldn't even know him Ras.
Right.
And my other person was Ras also, but not one that wears headpieces of such. But this man was so
attired, huh? Well dressed.
Well dressed, well coordinated. His colors were coordinated well, and you know he was just calm, just talk, and then when visiting time up, he drove out, and that went on for a while until I think we had a concert on campus, and that was the time that I realized that this might be a popular person, although he wasn't that popular at the time.
Yeah.
But the name just did not ring a bell.
So during the course of his conversation, he didn't try to impress you that he's a big superstar vocalist,
never.
Gregory Isaacs,
Not at all.
the cool ruler.
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
So him approach you very subtly.
Very subtle, very humble, and very calm, and very cool, and very manageable. you know. So it was then that the concert, and I don't know how his name came up to some girls, and some girls came to me and said, you know, that's Gregory Issacs?
Yeah.
And I said, really? So by talking and talking, we realized is a super
Big man you deal with.
he wasn't really a big superstar at the time, you know. It's just Love is Overdue, I think, was what broke him into the stardom or the fame. Cause I think that was his first hit song, really, that really brought him to the forefront.
Okay. If you had to do it all over, would you do it the same way, or you would change? What would you change about your
There
life?
are a few things that I would have changed, but my journey, I have a few regrets, yes, but it's a learning process for me. It has been a learning. I don't know if it's about this Earl, because Gregory taught me so much. Everything me know, Gregory teach me.
Right.
Everything. I couldn't cook, I couldn't do nothing. I grew up closing my knife and fork and get up, help out do all of that. When I met Gregory, I couldn't do nothing.
Really?
He taught me, yes, him teach me every jack thing. If you put me on a bike, I can ride it. And if you put me on a tractor, I'll probably drive it. He teach me everything, good and bad. I wouldn't say I have a lot of regrets, but my journey was good. It was bumpy. It was good, bumpy. I laugh about it now because I'm okay. You understand? I am well-rounded. I can go anywhere, anytime. I set a pattern here that we the whole community, if anything should happen to me or anybody say anything, him set that pattern, him govern in place and him take care of me, and everything is good. But the way he left us is still a puzzle, because you know, the old thing, I don't know if it's tell you. And then no, I didn't finish the part where I hear that he was married.
Yeah. What did you discover? What's real deal on that?
Oh well, when I heard that rather, I didn't make much of it because I know I wasn't divorced.
Right.
Knowing Gregory kind of person, he was, if he were divorced, he would say, or whatever, I would get whatever. But then I had friends who went and searched to make sure and came back and said nothing. Never mattered to me come know, said nothing no go so. So when the day when he died and I heard on the radio, he died leaving a wife in the UK at his home.
Really now, yeah.
I was shocked. I was here recall, I sunk in the chair and said, Jesus, what is this now? And then media houses start calling me. I started to avoid them because I say, I don't know, what is this? You understand? Anyway, when I started speaking to them now, and they asked me from divorce, no. At that time, she, Linda, had told the media houses them that she was married to Gregory. There was no such thing. He was never married.
Okay.
There was no marriage, no wedding, nothing like that.